on with our series on enhancing your memory. This is Siddharth Sathe and you're watching Phoenix Dreams. We spoke in the last video about one way of enhancing your memory, and that was maintaining a diary which helps you not only record whatever important events that you might want to, but also enhances your memory by reaching your brain through multiple sensory organs and your physical body. We'll move on to the second one today, which I use quite often, and that is something which I term as association or associative memory. So what I do is, whenever there is anything important that I know I need to remember, to retain and retrieve and recount, I associate that particular thing with something I like. So see, it's human tendency to remember fondly what you like, what interests you, what attracts you. So if you associate that one thing which is important, at times something which doesn't attract you. See, these are the things that you tend to forget. Something that is not very interesting to you, something that is tedious, something that is not part of your interests, or something which is not connected to you in any way, but important because it might be professional, work related, but you tend to forget it. So associate those things with something which is a interest to you. So the interest stays alive and active in your body always. Now this thing, since it's attached to it, it's like a symbiotic organism living along with it. I was trying to say parasite, but I wouldn't call it a parasite, but a symbiotic organism attached to something else. So whenever you remember this comes along with that. So the association that you form in your brain about that particular thing which is important and you have to remember with something that interests you automatically brings the retrieval of the second item up a lot more. What you can also do is use acronyms along with the association. Now, acronyms is when you especially useful when you have to remember a series of items, a list of items. So what you do is you just take the first alphabet of all of those and make a word. Make a word which, again, if possible, make a word that you can associate with something that interests you. So you remember the association, you remember the acronym, and all you've got to do is figure out what the full form of that acronym is, and you remember the entire string in the right sequence that you need to remember those in. Okay, let me give you a couple of examples of using acronyms and associations. One very common acronym used for remembering is about goals. When you have goals that you have to set. There are certain rules that you have to follow to ensure that you do the right kind of goal setting. So your goals need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable, they need to be realistic, and they need to be time bound. I'm not going to spend time on what this is and elaborate it, because this video is not about goal setting. But these are the 5 things that goals need to be. So what you do to remember these 5 before you start setting your goals, you make an acronym of specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. SMART. SMART. So you know that, and having SMART goals, the meaning of the word SMART is intelligent, clever. Having SMART goals is a good idea, but SMART also means SMART. So whenever you sit down to write your short-term, medium-term, long-term goals, you have to tell yourself that I need to have SMART goals. So you automatically know how do you go about doing your goal setting. Now, another example that I encounter while I do a session, and this is how I remember my sequences in my trainings as well. When I do a session on negotiation skills, I talk about the 8 sources of power that each party entering into the negotiation has. And these 8 sources of power are need, options, time, relationship, investment, credibility, knowledge, and skills. Now, I haven't done a session on negotiation skills in quite a long time, but I still remember the 8 sources simply because I've made an acronym of that in my mind. In fact, it's a popular acronym. Those people who were associated with negotiation skill sessions will know it. And the acronym that I use is NO TRICKS. NOTRICKS. Need. N. O. Options. T. Time. R. Relationship. I. Investment. C. Credibility. K. Knowledge. S. Skills. Once again, I'm not doing a video on negotiation skills, so I won't elaborate. I'll do it some other time if you want. But the point is, I will remember this forever because I am a person who likes tricks and magic and riddles. So no tricks sticks with me. It associates it with something that is of my interest. So whenever I'm doing a session on negotiation skills, all I have to do is step up and say no tricks, and I can do it. Another thing that you can do with association is especially useful when you have trouble remembering names, and a lot of people have that. They say, I know, I've met you, I know your face, but I'm bad with names. So, again, as a trainer, it's very important for me to be able to retain and remember names, because I might be in a session with 50 people and I can't say yes you, no. I have to remember each and every person's name. So I train myself to be able to remember names, associate faces with names as well. So what I do is I use association of their facial features with something I like or with someone I like. Every person has unique facial features. Now I try and pick up some aspect of their facial features and associate that with someone I know and like. Let's say, for example, I meet a person who has, like me, ears which stand a bit out. Now, this is something which is very, very, obviously apparent with Aamir Khan, and I'm a big Aamir Khan fan. So whenever I see someone whose ears are a bit out, I say his name is Prashant. Prashant is a very common name. So I want to remember Prashant. I say in my mind, Aamir Khan ears Prashant. So that sentence, the phrase has got repeated in my mind, Aamir Khan ears Prashant. Next time I meet Prashant and I see his ears, my mind is going to say Aamir Khan ears Prashant once again, and I'm going to remember his name is Prashant. So use facial features, associate those features with someone you know and like, say the whole thing along with that person's name in your mind once, you'll remember it much better. Right? So there are a lot of things like this you can do. Always associate hard to remember things with things that you like and attach them together. You'll remember much better. Right? So we'll stop here. That was association and acronyms used to enhance memory. We'll be back with more next week. That's it for now. Thank you very much for your likes, shares and subscribes. Please continue watching Phoenix Dreams. Until next time.